The Porsche Taycan is one of my absolute favorite electric cars, and even cars, period. I love it so much, and I'm so fond of the Taycan that 3 years ago, I went into my local Porsche dealer and I ordered one for myself. I took delivery of that car 2.5 years ago, and I recently made a 2.5 year, 45,000 kilometer review. So if you want, the detailed owner experience of a Taycan over almost 3 years, check that video out in the description box down below. But today we have the new facelifted version, and in this video I'm going to tell you guys 10 ways Porsche have improved the Porsche Taycan. Oh, just quickly guys, I want to ask you a very small favor that is completely free and takes 1 second, and that is hitting that subscribe button down below. I'm really trying to hit 50,000 subscribers before the end of October, and we are so close. All the subscribers really helps out the channel a lot. It helps the channel grow, and it helps me get more access to cars like this and go to launches and premieres. And I'm really trying to hit that number before the end of this month. And if we do, well, we're going to go on a large road trip somewhere in Europe with an awesome car of your choice. I also want to try to go to California this winter to do some summer and warm weather testing with, for example, the Polestar 3, Volvo EX90, and other electric cars that have just come to market or come to market that, well, not the best ideal conditions to do testing here in Norway. That's why I want to go over there. So please hit that subscribe button down below. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you very much. A nice feature that, well, I'm not missing, but if you have kids, and when my daughter was very young, was a feature I really wanted on some of my past cars, like my XC90 I had when my daughter was born, and those are soft close doors. Because if your kid is sleeping like in the child seat here, you don't want to slam the door like that, right? You don't want to wake up your kid. So pushing the door in, and it's quietly pulling in the door. That is a great addition. Of course, this being a Porsche, these soft close doors are an option, but they're not actually that expensive if you look at how much Porsche options usually cost. One of the first videos I made after taking delivery of my private Taycan was things I didn't like about that car. And one of the things was the operation of the adaptive cruise controller, the cruise control stock here. I really love the fact that it is on a stock. I think that is the best way to do cruise control. I love that, but it was the operation, because it was completely opposite to Audis and Volkswagens and Skodas, cars I've driven a lot and owned. But they fixed that with this. This now works in the same manner as with an Audi, so that means like you don't have to recalibrate your brain, and it's very logical. You pull it to activate, you push it up to increase the speed, and down to decrease the speed, and then you pull it away to turn it off. I mean, that's awesome. Applause to Porsche for fixing this. The Porsche Taycan already had one of the best driver displays out there, with a lot of customization, a lot of information. You could have it just the way you want for your preference. And also a lot of information like battery temperature, and also to the right here you have different modes for, sport chrono. You can do your media. I mean, it's really customizable. But what it didn't have was this screen to the left that always shows your battery percentage and battery temperature, because before you had to toggle between that and, for example, your trip computer. But now you can have all that information showing at the same time, and that is great. A new and awesome feature that deserves applause and almost a chapter all by itself, and is something I'm really gonna miss once I get back into my Taycan, is this new gauge to the left. So it's large, it's legible, it's really easy and clear to see at a glance, and that is the battery percentage and the battery temperature. But there's a new feature here that is new for this car, and that is the kilowatts of charging speed in real time you're gonna get if you connect to a charger. That's what you see to the left there, which says max and 0 kilowatts, and a lightning bolt icon below it. I think it's showing 0 because, as a Porsche, they always under-report. Like the other day, it said 180 kilowatts and I was getting 190. So I think like in real time, you'd get like 10. But I think having this information readily available at a glance really gives the driver an understanding of why you're going to get the charging speed you are getting. I'm part of the Porsche forum here in Norway, and every time somebody buys a Taycan, they're like, why am I only getting 100 or 150 kilowatts when the car's supposed to peak at 270? That's the pre-facelifted model. And that is because, well, the battery temperature isn't up to operating temperature, which should be like 30 degrees plus. So now 12 degrees Celsius, we're not going to get high charging speed, but also because we are at a high percent state of charge, or at a high battery percentage. And just having that information really educates the driver. And there are other cars that do this, but then you have to go into a menu. The fact that this is available right there in front of you all the time is the best feature in any electric car of 2024. The infotainment system has also gotten a very small overhaul. Not big changes, but one of the biggest changes I've noticed at least is in the navigation system. So let's say I want to go to, let's go to, I don't know, Hamburg. We're going to have to stop and charge there. If we go to Hamburg. Okay, so Hamburg Center in Germany. And then the car, of course, like always, is going to put in a route. It's going to put in the different charging stops. And it takes about a second there. Nope, let's not do that. Okay, so it's calculating the charging stops, right? Takes a second. It's not the quickest, but it works really nice. You know, I've driven my car on a few road trips here and there in Scandinavia and in Northern Europe. And I'm going to show you a feature here that I'm going to miss again with my own private Taycan. So here we go. Now it's going to show the charging stops. And this is really nice that it's showing all of this information, what percentage you're going to arrive with. It shows that with my car. But this drop down here, I think this is just a very nice addition. And then you press that, and then the car's showing you, we're going to ride with 60%, we're going to go to 84%, and that's going to take 19 minutes. Just having that readily available, I mean, we don't have the biggest screen real estate, so in other cars that may be shown, like on the navigation screen, but the fact that you just have that readily available like that, it's just very logical, it's just very easy to use, and I like that update. But this new feature may be the best new feature with the navigation and infotainment system in the new Taycan. And I actually discovered this by accident because, you know, in my wildest imagination, I didn't think that this would actually be added. And check this out, guys. So we're now on Apple CarPlay, we're in Google Maps, and then I'm navigated to Hamburg. Let's start that route. I mean, there's no debating that Google Maps and their navigation system, one of the best in the business, like for traffic, real-time updates. I just prefer, you know, that interface. But what you can do now is that you can navigate here and check this out, guys. We're going to do Hamburg again here. Hamburg Center. So it's calculating route. And it's not canceling the navigation on Apple CarPlay. That is a great feature. I first saw this with the Audi Q6 e-tron with its Android-based infotainment system. And this is great because you still have to use the built-in route planning, the Porsche route planning here, to precondition the battery on route. But this interface isn't the best. But helping in just to check the charging times and using this is great. And that also means you can have two different destinations in two different navigation systems, which, I mean, if you're going on road trips and you want to go to somewhere to eat, but you also want to see how long before you have to stop and charge, maybe you also want to see how long before you're at your destination, having two navigation systems, that's great. And that is an awesome feature. So on the bottom of this right gauge, we have our different drive modes, right? So you have your normal, you have your range, you have your sport and sport plus, etc., right? And you can adjust those drive modes with the drive mode selector here, this switch on the steering wheel, if you equip the car with the Sport Chrono package, which also gives you this Sport Chrono clock. But what's really nice now is this new feature. When you equip the car with Sport Chrono, you can see push to pass. And what that is that it gives you the maximum power output that before was only available on a launch. So Porsche Taycans have two different power outputs. We have with launch control, like with boost mode, and you have normal driving. And before, you only had that maximum power output when the car was doing a launch. Driving, you didn't have that maximum power output. But now you have something called push to pass, where you can have the same output as you have on a launch, pressing this button. So you press this button, it does work now because we're in park. But then up here, you have a 10-second counter that counts down from 10 to 0. And you have that full power available for 10 seconds for passing or for just doing a speed run. and that is an awesome new feature. One of the improvements I noticed right away is the improved ride comfort. So all Taycans now come standard with air suspension, which in of itself just improves ride comfort across the board. But my car, owning a Cross Turismo, it also comes standard with air suspension. And I noticed it right away, like from my car into this, and both cars are on 21-inch wheels, is just how more compliant and controlled the ride is. It is really impressive that they managed to improve the ride so much. It just feels a little bit more refined. It just feels a little bit more luxurious, and it's just an improvement without, you know, losing any body control. It just feels more luxurious. Just the small bumps and imperfections just get ironed out. It is a very impressive riding car. Another very welcome improvement is that all Taycans now come with a bigger battery pack. So you have the performance battery, and then you have the performance battery plus. So the old performance battery was 71 kilowatt hours usable, and the old performance battery pack plus was 83.7 kilowatt hours usable. Now the smaller battery pack is like 82 something kilowatt hours usable, so almost as big as the old big battery pack. And this new big battery pack, which this car is equipped with, has 97 kilowatt hours of usable capacity. That is an improvement, a gain of more than 15%. So with the same consumption, the car is going to have 15% more range, which is a lot. That's a lot, and that is a huge improvement. All Taycans across the board now get more performance with quicker acceleration times. So you don't only have that full power available in this 4S if you go for the Sport Chrono pack, giving you that push to pass, but all models now, even without the Sport Chrono, are quicker. For example, the Taycan Cross Turismo before did 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.1 seconds. This new model does it in 4.8. This is now down from 4 seconds flat to 3.7 seconds, which is the 0 to 100 kilometers an hour time of the old GTS. So you don't only have, you know, push to pass, which gives you that power available just at the fingertip, but all models now are quicker and have improved performance. So there we go, guys. Those are the 10 ways Porsche have improved the Taycan facelift, turning an awesome car into an even better and more attractive electric car than ever. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.